Hello everyone, it's Tagatha from TradingView here, and this week we have something a little bit different for you. As anyone who's been watching the news will know, COVID restrictions are ending or have ended all across the world, and traveling is opening up in a big way. Expedia recently released their quarterly earnings, revealing revenues that were up around 80% year on year. MGM Resorts reported similar numbers, up 73%, Airbnb 70%, and car rental company Avis Budget Group was up 77%. But the real takeoff has been in the skies, with airlines rebounding left, right and centre. And of course, the big news at the start of this month was that Spirit Airlines is going to merge with Frontier Airlines after accepting its $2.9 billion takeover offer. So we thought, in that, spirit, why not do a deep dive into the main publicly traded budget airlines in the US at the moment? These carriers operate largely on super fast turnaround times, high volumes of passengers, and added extras for folks that just can't bear the thought of a few inches less legroom. Might be useful to keep an eye on, might not, but it's not trading advice, of course. Now, let's take a look and do it quickly and in order of popularity on TradingView.com. So, let's dive in with number 8 on the list, Sun Country Airline Holdings. In a year that airlines were trying not to go bankrupt and disappear into the Bermuda Triangle, Sun Country Airlines actually IPO'd in 2021. Yep, we're kind of confused too, but the airline is so confident in its dealios for customers that it's now trading on the New York Stock Exchange for just under $25 as of this recording. While our data shows that it's the least popular stock on this list, the airline dubs itself a new breed of low-cost air carriers and will be wanting to make a name for itself in the coming year. Why should you care though? Well, in a time of crazy inflation and airlines just trying to turn a profit, Sun Country optimizes its small fleet size to fill out its air carriers, taking advantage of highly demanded travel routes and dropping the quiet ones at a second's notice. So forget the luxury of stretching yourself over 3 seats of Sun Country, because that ain't happening. If the no passenger left behind policy hasn't got your propellers turning, then Sun Country poached Jude Bricker from Allegiant in 2017. And since then, Bricker has led the company in its transition to a hybrid, ultra-low-cost carrier. Sun Country now provides charter flights for none other than the US Department of Defense, and also signed a lucrative cargo deal with Amazon in 2020 to provide a reliable alternative income to passenger flying. So, who knows, maybe that Art Deco wine rack you ordered at 3 a.m. made it to your door just thanks to Sun Country. Next up we have Allegiant, who managed to come in at number 7 on the list. Be careful to call Allegiant an airline company though, because it has fingers in quite a few pies and likes to tell people that it's actually a travel company. In many ways, this could be good. Planes may not be around forever, but people wanting to go on holiday will. We think, at least. For Allegiant, a fairly big chunk of its business model relies on ancillary revenues, which basically means stuff that aren't actually part of its main product. And they come in the form of partnerships across the travel industry, offering customers low-cost, inclusive holiday packages. Allegiant's hotels are off-limits to its staff though. The airline schedules its flights so that crew members can always return to their homes at the end of the day, thus avoiding the expense of buying up hotel rooms. So yeah, don't expect Allegiant to dig into its pockets or buy you a drink at the airport lounge. While it flies to 129 destinations throughout the US, mostly smaller regional airports, another of its supporting revenue streams comes from its chartered flights, available to corporate businesses and other large groups like sports teams and workforces needing to travel around the country. Despite its lower popularity on TradingView, Allegiant appears to be a smartly run operation due to its penchant for tightening the purse strings, while also expanding into other areas of potential revenue besides passenger travel. And its reaction to the pandemic was perhaps indicative of that. Allegiant's stock price reached a new all-time high only a year after the March 2021 crash. Let's start our next pick by showing you the animals this airline plasters on its rudder. That's right, you'll know you've seen a low-flying Frontier airline if you see a grizzly bear or a red cardinal embossed on a 737. Frontier Airlines shows off these animals beyond the confines of the US too, venturing as far as Mexico and the Caribbean. With a $6 billion merger around the corner with Spirit, popularity is sure to rise. Speaking of which, environmentally friendly travel is a hot topic at the minute, and Frontier are out there trying to be the greenest airline possible. Relatively speaking, of course. The airline claims to be the most fuel efficient in the US, which, during a time of high fuel prices post-pandemic, is also going to help prevent the airline from having to cut back on its routes due to outgoings. Like many on this list, Frontier justifies its cheap tickets by putting a fee on pretty much anything once you're in the air. We've all done it, save $30 to fly budget, and then proceed to pay $10 for the Wi-Fi and $5 for a sandwich that looks like it was made in a laboratory. It works. Frontier do help consumers out a little bit though, offering 2 money-saving schemes on top of the cheap prices. Firstly, it's Frontier Miles frequent flyer program, and secondly, it's Discount Den membership, which allows passengers to fly for as little as $19 on selected routes. That's probably like a packet of crisps on United flight. But what do you expect? Their stock ticker literally stands for ultra low cost carrier. Alaska Air comes in at number 5 on TradingView for its number of clicks in the first quarter, and we're pretty sure they weren't just coming out of Alaska. Despite what the name may suggest, Alaska Air actually flies all over the US, though a lot of its routes fly to and from airports around the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest. The airline is the 5th largest operating in the US, but unlike many of its cost-cutting compadres, Alaska is able to offer multiple fares: economy, premium, and first class, potentially attracting a broader milieu of clientele. Yep, Alaska sprinkles a modicum of glam to its budget travel, even serving its passengers in economy class caviar and issuing free copies of the Wall Street Journal. Alaska says that having an extensive set of destinations has helped them take advantage of this. They pull in business passengers from Seattle and San Francisco, while also appealing to economy travelers in Santa Barbara and San Diego. While the economy guys won't get the free food and Wi-Fi, the split approach Alaska takes has seen its stock value recover better than many other airlines, bouncing back quickly to pretty much pre-pandemic levels. Let's all go to Alaska. JetBlue just edges Alaska Airlines on our list, coming in at number 4. And like Alaska Airlines, JetBlue aims to please more than just the low-budget crowd, with its business model allowing a bit of legroom for 2 classes of cabins. Not quite 3, but they're trying. Outside of economy, JetBlue offers Mint to those who can't quite afford the luxury of first class on American Airlines, but still want to flaunt their pseudo-executive lifestyle on Instagram without digging too deeply into their pockets. This class aims to compete with upmarket flights by offering improved seating, cooked dinners, and lie flat beds. And mints. We can only imagine that they offer complimentary mints. While JetBlue has this option to bolster its business, it also optimizes economy class by providing the bare essentials. In-flight food, seat selection, and entertainment are all premium features that you'll have to fork out for during the flight. Perhaps for these reasons, the airline is a proven player in the industry, navigating the turbulence of the pandemic to remain the 6th largest airline in the country. As of today, JetBlue even boasts several codeshare agreements with other airlines, including big names like American Airlines and Emirates. But its more recent efforts to fly in the big leagues have taken a bit of a knock. JetBlue's attempted purchase of Spirit Airlines was turned down in favor of a rival airline, Frontier. Oh dear. Now we enter click-heavy territory with Spirit Airlines, the people so confident in their stripped-down, cheap approach to flying that they've branded themselves as Save on the New York Stock Exchange. Of course, in the true spirit of an ultra-budget airline, you ain't going to get the luxury of free in-flight food and drink, and you'll also have to pay for any luggage on top of your ticket prices. Don't fret though, you'll be able to stretch your legs once the flight is at cruising altitude, at a fair price of about $350, only kidding. Shameless about offering the bare essentials, Spirit is known for its Bare Fare, a super cheap flight package which offers A to B routes at a cost of around $100 to $200 for return tickets across the US, meaning it comes as one of the cheapest airlines in the country. What's going to happen now though that Frontier has gone ahead and bought the company? Does it want more TradingView clicks or something? It's fairly obvious that Frontier sees Spirit as an opportunity for it to leapfrog JetBlue and Alaska. Eat or be eaten, we guess? Perhaps a dark horse on our list, Hawaiian Airlines takes the penultimate spot. Founded in 1929, back when air travel was pretty much an eccentric extravagance, Hawaiian Airlines has stood the test of time, and 2 bankruptcies, to become the largest operator of commercial flights to and from Hawaii. With the island being one of the most popular tourist destinations worldwide, its ability to offer reasonable fares on these routes has been key to keeping it ahead of its competitors. And Hawaiian Airlines isn't exactly your typical airline. Known for its recognizable cabin design and personable onboard service, it fits the bill to have Hawaii as its destination hub. Touch wood, the company has also never registered a fatal accident or hull loss in its history, while also being the most on-time airline from 2004 to 2020. What really sets them apart on a business level, though, is their flight routes to Asian and South Pacific countries, including Australia and Japan. Thanks to those routes, the airline has recently launched a business class cabin for planes to accommodate a new class of traveller. Along with its recent expansion into mainland US flights, Hawaiian Airlines could be an option that once would have been overlooked. Not bad for an old-timer. Topping the TradingView charts at about 480,000 clicks is Southwest Airlines, a company that has somehow cobbled together enough pennies from its cheap tickets to become the fourth largest airline in the US. It's so big, in fact, it's even been allowed into the prestige Big Four club that includes Delta, American Airlines, and United. They even have a secret handshake with each other. So, how did Southwest infiltrate this little clique? Well, the airline fine-tuned its business model to become a money-making machine. The company's focus on streamlining resources to transport high volumes of passengers at quick turnarounds allowed it to turn a profit pretty quickly after COVID restrictions got lifted. Better yet, the budget airline is also known for versatility, running short flights that covered just over 100 miles, while also covering 2,000-mile flights like the 6-hour journey from Sacramento to Honolulu. They'd probably fly to your friend's house if they could. It's not surprising then that Southwest's number-crunching obsession means that it's the only airline to have never filed for bankruptcy. Okay folks, that's all I have time for today. Did I miss anything? If so, please be sure to let us know in the comments below. And do let us know how you're finding the evolution of these shows. Is there anything you'd like us to cover soon? Anything else you'd like us to deep dive? Again, just write something in the comments and we'll take a look. Until next time, wherever you are, whatever you're trading and whoever you're with, look first and then leap.